Last kiddo I want to touch on in the recruiting segment is Tristan Leigh, who announced his top five as final finalists, and they include Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, LSU, and Alabama. Now, for Oklahoma to be in this is tremendous, and one of the things that I've intuited from him is Lincoln Riley has the most to do with that. Being the head coach, being the offensive coordinator, knowing that Bill Bedenbaugh is always going to be his offensive line coach for as long as Bill Bedenbaugh wants to keep that job is a big deal to him. That said, LSU feels really good about where they sit with Ed Orgeron and James Craig. Clemson remains Clemson, right? They're in it every single year, and that's one of the draws there. But Ohio State has been recruiting unlike any team that we've seen in the past 10 years with this class that just continues to get better. But let me run this by you. If Alabama were to pick up Tristan Leigh, they get J.C. Latham, James Brockermeyer, Tommy Brockermeyer, right? And come on. You have perhaps the best offensive line class I can remember, right? Because right now, I think this class, if it sticks together for Alabama, as it stands, is the best that they've ever put together in the rankings era. So imagine 3 5-star tackles, and a 4-star center. What? And you know what? And Lay knows the numbers because, he told Brian Doan this, I believe. It was, hey, you can't argue with they've had 10 out of their last 12 tackles drafted in the first round. No, you can't. And we're all waiting on Alex Leatherwood to be that 11 out of 13. So, goodness me, man. Saban over the last really 2 months has been destroying people, just proving once again, no, I am Lil Nicky. That's who I am. I will go into your bedroom. I will steal your favorite toys. I don't care if it's signing day eve or if it's July. If I want it, I'm going to FaceTime it. And to that I say, hey, Texas fans, y'all better go and reassure Jalen Milroe because, that man was being recruited by Major Applewhite to Houston. And you know where Major Applewhite is now? Alabama. Hey, look, Saban did it to Oklahoma last year with Jace McClellan. What makes you think he wouldn't do it to Texas? And the way that people have been coming into Texas to get kids, like LSU, good grief, man. Tom, what's going on down there? What are you guys doing?
Man, and make no mistake about it, Saban is trying. Every single time I run into Milroe on the trail, all I hear about is, yeah, I'm committed to Texas, but Alabama's been on my line constantly. And to further your point, if you're Milroe, you got to be looking at this O-line class, especially with Tristan Leigh still on the board for them, thinking to yourself, man, I kind of want to stay upright.
I forgot Terrence Ferguson. I'm sorry. That's 5. I'm sorry.
And that's what I was going to say to further your point. Terrence Ferguson's committed as well, and he's a 6'4", 300-pound offensive guard with a 97-60 rating. They've got dudes, and if Leigh still has them in the running, that's huge. Now, how they would make those pieces fit together is incredibly interesting. Obviously, one of the Brockermeyer twins could play center. Ferguson's a guard. You have the 2 tackles. So if Leigh were to commit, they'd have 3 tackles. One of them has to go inside the guard. That's all things Saban can decide.
Mm-hmm.
But also, it's hilarious. Did you see how Nick Saban waited and laughed because everyone was like, oh, well, maybe this is the time that prehistoric Nick Saban in Alabama officially fails in terms of the pandemic recruiting era. And now he's just picking up dudes left and right like Dallas Turner on national television. It's just making it look easy.
Dude, I made a video mocking them for being 55th in the country in April. They're number 3. What?
Yeah. Man, they get Christian Leary, boom. Kendrick Blackshire, boom. It's just the list goes on and on. They just surge. And now, they got a real shot at being top 3. Just like all these other programs vying for those spots that North Carolina and Tennessee are currently claiming. And so Ohio State, man, it's not just Oklahoma that Alabama's hurting right now. Ohio State, some of those other big-name programs, everyone's kind of keeping their eyes over the shoulder.
LSU is covering their eyes. LSU is covering their eyes, and they've got number 6, right? Number 6, number 5 recruiting class in the country right now. They're going to add to it here pretty soon, but they got to watch J.C. Latham in their division, right? They got to watch the Brockermeyer twins in their division. You know what I mean? It's like that. They might have to watch Tristan Leigh in their division. I can't. I keep looking at these things and I'm going, yeah, you're right, because I wrote this, right, in my piece about, the Ohio State kids and the Oklahoma kids recruiting Emeka Egbuka. But if Oklahoma added Egbuka, Kamar Wheaton, right, to this list of dudes that includes 5 stars, right, they just get to a point to where they start, and you add Tristan Leigh, you get to be, 6 points behind Alabama with the same number of recruits at number 3, and you're still a good 35 points behind Ohio State right now. I mean, come on. Like, there are people that are thriving in this pandemic, and there are people that are looking at everybody else going, how are they doing that? I'm going, they make phone calls. They like recruiting. They are on these kids, and they got the kids on the kids. Like, that was one of the things I think that people would really love to hear from Caleb Williams is he's staying on one, Mario Williams, who I know that we're all kind of waiting to be like, I don't know, man. LSU, Florida still really want him. But also, he's trying to get Emeka Egbuka in there, and there's been kind of a heavy push from both sides on that, and he's going to take his time because I think he wants to take visits, right? And who doesn't want to take visits? But are they going to let the kids take visits? I can't imagine that they would. If you're not going to have fans, how are you going to have visits? That didn't make any sense. But then again, neither does playing during a pandemic. All right,